Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Man, it's hot out here today. Welcome to 117th in Lorain. Doing a quick little talk on life, some comparative religion, the common ground between uh, Islam, Christianity, reentry, tackling some issues with returning to life after dealing with being away for a while, and anything else that really comes off the top of the head right now. I've done some stuff for scripting, some of these talks, and I have a tendency to go right off subject right away. So I mean, a lot of times until I get a little more practice in this, I wouldn't even pay much attention to what I say in the beginning. The talk is going to be about. Um, it must be 85 degrees up here, and all the air conditioning in the world doesn't seem to really be cutting down on the humidity. So I'm saying I'm probably not going to be on here for too long. I so I made a huge error in judgment yesterday. I received a message, on Messenger, where a friend of mine who struggles from time to time, and it seemed right up his alley that he would be the one doing this. The message comes from his account, so he had been hacked, and says, I've been locked out of my Messenger, and I need a phone number to send to. So me knowing it was a bad idea, but still, I just I just couldn't say no to saying to trying to help the man out. So I let him send his confirmation code or whatever for his messenger account to my phone under my phone number, which my messenger and my Facebook was under, which I still can't seem to get in for some reason. I can't seem to get I can't seem to get the confirmation to come to my phone to saying unlock it. So I actually had to go ahead and start a new Facebook. So there has to be a reason for it that's beyond beyond anything that I really can think of. So you know I didn't I it's really the first time that in my life I've ever really been hacked. I didn't take it that serious. And while I was away, I'd be reading and hearing about all these, identity theft, and I'd be seeing people coming through, and guys, and guys were doing Fed time for all these credit card accounts and stuff. And while I was working on tour on the dark web, there was a lot of stuff for sale, financial records and different things. Was EINs or all that kind of stuff. I never took a I never took a great deal of interest in it because by definition I was just a drug dealer. And like even my use of cryptocurrency and whatnot, I would have you know I would have probably just kept spending all the crypto in the world on drugs to keep the money coming in versus sitting on it and waiting. I mean, that was just the nature. But it was just a means. Bitcoin was just a means to pursue drugs. That was it. Like, it wasn't. Let me hold on to this and whatnot. I mean, it came in so fast that of course you would be hanging on to it. But um, so with the hacking, I if I've lost contact with anybody out there, the new account will be Issa Sharia. I'm not going to be using Delaniac on on the new Facebook, and I'm actually in the in the exploratory phases of changing my name legally, which it appears in the state of Ohio is maybe a lot easier than elsewhere, from what I've read real quick. So I'm looking to get that situated here. And so if anybody sees Issa Sharia coming through, that's Tony Delaniak, Tony D. I'm saying, from a past life. And if you happen to get a message from me from my messenger account on my Facebook, saying that I need your help. It's not me. So don't fall for it. Um, what else? You know, another you know, another week as a working man. Um, it's definitely a good feeling. I've definitely developed a consciousness of getting up every day and going to work. It's something that for a lot of us from the generation maybe one or two before mine all the way up till the to the current ones, we watched our parents go to work and we just never we never thought that that would be us. At least not the guys with a little bit of the hustle game going on. I didn't think I could do it. It's one of those things. It's like, I guess, for people that for people that lack in maybe a little bit of willpower, the thought of maybe quitting smoking cigarettes. It's like they just they could quit every day, but they're never going to accomplish it. And there's actually some people that would be in a state of terror of thinking of what it would be like to actually not have a cigarette. Of course, though, I'll be going. I'll be having my last affliction here with Monster Energy drinks and Griselda Records. Benny the Butcher out from Buffalo, doing his little thing out there, pushing the Monster drinks out of line. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the lifestyle is definitely behind me, but you know, I'm still with the drink, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still gonna, we're gonna be monster drinking it to the end, regardless. And one of the interesting things is when I see the ads going on, that has the guys from Griselda or Benny on there pushing the Monster Energy drinks. There was, towards the end of my self destruction, falling apart, maybe the last year, I went through, I went through a phase where, I had I had been called a monster, by my wife, by my oldest daughter, by the mother of my youngest son. And it was really interesting to reflect on when I actually gathered myself later on to think that people, like people that you care about, people that you consider to be valuable to you, very important, that you would want to make sure that they were okay. But your actions, it was worth a lot of times was worthy of them calling you a monster. And I had to really reflect on, what does it mean if somebody calls you a monster? And it kind of hit me. It hit me kind of stiff when I was in the RDAP program in Lewisburg, residential drug awareness program, or I can't. You know what? I'm so glad that I can't remember the name of it, but um, it was a good program. I can't front about that. Especially for people, if they were willing to put the key in and unlock themselves to it a little bit, even if they were fronting for the crowd. What I'm saying. But if in the closeness of their mind's eye, if they were really trying to process stuff with themselves and figuring them out, the program definitely had a lot of benefits. But as I was sitting in that program, it gave you a lot of time to think. You're living really in this hell within a prison system. Like if and it's funny. Like if prison is bad, you hear about, like, the higher ups, this and that, man, the worst place, the worst place to be incarcerated is in a drug program in prison. especially if you especially if you don't want to be in it. Like, to just take the program for the time off is, it's a gamble. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're gonna end up running into a brick wall head first and maybe get whatever get whatever time you've earned off of your programming pulled from you. But as it is in this, you do these different things and different you do skits and you do you know you you do oh man, the terminology is I lived in this building for 2 years because I was such a knucklehead, and the terminology is is escaping me. But you'd write things and you explore and talk about situations. You present it to to God knows how many people and whatever. But one of the things that hit me like is I sit there and I don't think a lot of people took me serious. You know what I'm saying? But like to reflect on the fact like when the first one to do it was Lindsay, the mother of my son Orion. She said you're a monster, and I thought it was really just her running her mouth like always. You know what I'm saying? But when I got when I got off the off the hallucinogenics and off the MDMA and I wasn't like woo just all over the place and I was in I was in prison in the drug program and sat down and really reflected on it. You know, you get to a point where you look at the okey doke and what life is supposed to be and what it's supposed to be about and what's important and what's really good and you know we end up in this in this belief system where we got to keep it real with our snake ass friends, with our boys, what I'm saying, and we're gonna lie to, so we're gonna lie to our wives, to our girlfriends, to the people who are in our family, the ones that hold us down. Like we're gonna run around with people that are, they're not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be there. Not if you're lucky, really. But you know what I'm saying? Like our belief system is telling us that the one person that we should always be honest with and trust the most, being it our spouse or our parents or our, our siblings. You know what I'm saying? These are the people we lie to first. You know what I'm saying? And this is keeping it. So this is keeping it real. Like this is the, this is the belief system that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Going on in people's minds right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I gotta keep it real with my boys, but I can go home and I can lie to my wife. And my wife looked at me. My wife looked at me, and she had said, this was, maybe 10 years into our relationship, and she was like, you've never been a liar, and you're a liar now, and you know, yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I, I would lie to that woman. I would lie to that woman, and you know what I'm saying. It would be so, I developed such an ease with it, that scary. You know what I'm saying? I watched I watched growing up. I watched my brother develop a, an ease with lying. You know what I'm saying? And be like, it got frustrating. And some of my friends with stealing and lying, I watched them develop this ease with it. And it's something that's really easy to really dislike with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And so like I didn't even recognize it, but yeah, like I could sit there and man, like, I could lie to the woman who I lived with that had children with at the house that she was watching my dope. She was what I'm saying. It's like and then in the end, it's like my expectations still remain the same though. That even though what I'm saying? Like I'm full of it. Like you couldn't believe a word I said if you were her, but yet she still wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like she wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, but really, if she was, if she was, if she was being honest with herself at the time, she would, she should have just packed her bags and really, left me in the rear view. And I would have probably lost my mind, went out, found her, probably kidnapped somebody, done something and gone off the deep end. So maybe that wasn't the best idea at the time, but yeah, like that was the thing. Like, I figured that on in prison too, was reflecting like, you know, like I would, you know, like I would like some of my closest friends, you know, they're fucking they're snakes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, they're not worthy. They're uncorrectable. You know what I'm saying? Like I just there's you know, Alaspana Tawala would say, you know, some people would just, you know what I'm saying, never be capable of getting the message. And some of my friends, you know, even if they wanted it, could they could never hear or see, you know. And these are the people that I would have chose really to keep it 100 with. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been super important to me, to make sure that you know what I'm saying, like my closest confidants, my amigos would have known that, you know what I'm saying, like that I had it in the clutch with them. You know what I'm saying? And I would have lied to my wife, to their wives, to whoever. And a lot of this is the reason too, is my belief system kind of got spread around to, you know, especially like the motorcycle club. A lot of my guys, you know, a lot of my guys' girlfriends and wives despise me, and that's because, you know what I'm saying, little. I got into, you know, I was the, you know what I'm saying, like I was the virus. I was the malware getting into the system, and they were slowly absorbing my messed up belief system, you know what I'm saying, and becoming, you know, more and more like me every day. You know, and you know, I used to be like, why do they hate me? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, you know, they were right. It was, you know, it was transparent. I was, you know, nothing worse than a loud, arrogant, you know, POS that he thinks he knows everything, you know. And yeah, you know, I definitely, you know, I definitely was responsible for planting that seed in, you know, in a lot of good, in a lot of good young, a lot of good young dudes that were around at that time. And I, you know, like, I definitely put pressure on it. And I'm glad to see that that most of their relationships, marriages, girlfriends, families have kind of endured as I was gone, and that you know, that I didn't have I didn't really have that total influence on them, or it was, you know, with a lot of them where that they'd hang on to, like, you know, as long as I was there, I would keep drawing them to that, you know, to that wrong way of thinking. But really, by when, and I said this too to you know, to a lot of times in you know, in the drug program in prison, and a lot of times, you know, just in general, to anybody who listen, like, you know, the best thing that happened to my children's lives, really. And then this you gotta understand, like, is, you know, I mean, having both of their parents taken away from them is a traumatic, terrible experience. But you know, I was so I was so distorted in what I thought was acceptable, you know. And I mean, you know, it's like you know, like my son would be sitting around the table with, you know what I'm saying, a couple of fellas, you know what I'm saying, like we're, you know what I'm saying, you know, there's weapons, kids like, oh, let me see it, like looking in his eyes bug out, like looking at my son, and just like I was as a kid, obsessed with, you know, with guns, and you know, and I didn't think anything, you know. I would have I would have at that time, I would have been, you know, I would have been so pleased if all my children would have followed in my footsteps, and became criminals. I would have thought that that was just a legacy continuing from the tutelage that, like, I came under with my brother. And you know, I would have thought it was just me, you know, me passing it on to them. And you know what I'm saying, like, even though, you know, like one of the hardest things with my ego, um, when I was younger coming up, was with the older crowd. Like when I was like 20 to 30, 20 to 35, you know, the crowd that would have been at that time 10 years plus older than me, they're, you know, like, they would always compare me to my brother, you know what I'm saying, and they would always be like, you know, so you'll never, like, I could, in their minds, I could never live up to, you know, to the status that he had reached. And you know, and it used to kind of it used to make me mad, because, you know, like, I could, I mean, like I'd be in my mind, I'd be like, oh, numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, like he fell face first at 23, never recovered. I stayed out there. I got this, I got that. I'm doing this. I've been here, and and I would start putting my resume out to myself, and I'd be pleading with other people, trying to convince them that, that no, you got this wrong. Like, something. No, as I did. He couldn't live up to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, in terms of being the younger, the one to follow behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I did. I took it. I was a better thinker. You know what I'm saying? Like I took everything that they taught me, and I took everything that came ahead and came after and was available to me, and I made new turns and new directions and figured out ways to, ways to be a bigger criminal. I don't want to say better, because there's nothing better about being a criminal. Period. And I guess when my sons were born, I guess I envisioned that I would have imagined that, that they would have taken anything I would have showed them. And it'd be like if they would have played with it on another level. They would have taken it up. They would have taken it up 10 notches, and I would have been so proud. And then what do you do? So then when you do, okay, you're a proud parent. Your son follows in your footsteps, and then he gets killed, or he catches a body, or he runs into the federal government. You know what I'm saying? Or like some of these terrible things happen to him. So now, now you're giving him that ignorant dad speech that you hear street guys give, like, oh, you don't say nothing, you don't. Da, 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 da. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just ruined your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully he catches the bid right, and it fixes him, and he gets out and is able to get his life back together. But so like, if you lead him into the flame, and then saying, when it burns him, saying, then you go, and then you're still trying to, like, you're still worried, like, you don't want it to reflect any way on you, so you're gonna be like, nah, so whatever you do, you don't never da, 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 so you go through, like, so you're gonna start, kicking this in. It's not even about your kid at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about you. It's still about you. It's about your legacy, and it's fake. You know what I'm saying? It's all fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these people out here, all the posturing. I mean, you hit the feds, man. You hit the feds. You start digging through Pacer, looking through, flipping the work, going on, seeing, the guys, the guys who were official. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there was 1% of the people who claimed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, self-preservation is the natural human and animal instinct. Like, so like, these people, like, in the feds. You know what I'm saying? Everybody did something. Everybody did something that you could be like, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're tied up with cases with other people and stuff like that. Like, man, everybody trying to get out of these people's way. You know what I'm saying? In the process, you know what I'm saying? They signed a plea deal that, what I'm saying, maybe had people's names in it or something like that. It's a shit all over. Like, it's one of them things. It's just not. It's all BS. I look at, like, I watch on YouTube, and I see Takashi. Who and the funny thing is that I didn't like Takashi. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't stand Takashi, and that was before he started having legal problems. And then after the problems hit him, and you start to examine what, what I'm saying, what the deal was, what really happened. You know, ah, there goes the phone. Okay, well, right now we're 25 minutes into it, and I'll tell you what, I gotta go and unlock the door for the lady downstairs. So I'm gonna end this right now. But tomorrow we're gonna get in. We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna talk about Takashi 69. We're gonna, what I'm saying, we're gonna look at it from a bunch of a bunch of different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see, who's wrong, who's really wrong, who's wronger. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, like, at what point does, does the belief system, does the belief system become okay to violate? Okay, so until tomorrow, it's the East of Sharia signing off 117 in Lorain. I'm saying 25 minutes in because it's a busy, busy world out there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all the mu'mineen, mustaqim, all the Muslim out there. And I'm saying shalom alaikum to all the I'm saying to all the Jewish people and the followers of Christ. And remember, as Muslims, we follow to 100% T, if we're doing it right, the teachings of Jesus Christ. So don't ever think that there's a difference between I'm saying us and you. I'm saying it's just ahad. It's all one. All right. I'm saying you people you know have a good night. I'm saying, and I'm out.